everybody, welcome back to Teensy Vintage. This is Teresa, and today we're going to be working in my junk journal once again. One of my junk journals, that is. This is the big, clunky one. And we're going to be working on this 2-page spread. I don't remember what it was at one point, but it made its way into this journal as a couple pages, and we're going to cover those pages up because I don't really like them. So right now I'm going to cut out the focal, which is this young lady and her cat. I thought this picture was really cute. I'm a big sucker for animals, so any pictures with animals really catch my eye, and this one was no exception. So I'm just doing some fussy cutting, making sure I get all the little edges off. And we'll recycle all those bits and cut off that last little piece. All right, we're going to put her aside. And now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to glue down some other paper. One, to cover up this weird green and yellow thing. And two, to give this page, these pages, some more body, to give them more substance. And here I'm using the Liquitex matte gel. You can also use a glue stick or whatever glue you like, but I really recommend that you use a paper-friendly kind of glue or medium, because otherwise your paper will get all wrinkly. So if you try to use Elmer's here, it might not work so well. So I try to avoid those kinds of paints. And I'm just tearing up pieces of, gosh, it looks like some music, some scrapbook paper, just things that I had in piles around my desk. And I kind of picked out things that were all neutral in color because I knew I was going to paint them or add color, and then I knew I was going to add some colorful other pieces on top. And this particular piece is let's see, that's a digital ephemera that I bought from someone on Etsy, I think. So it's old documents that they scan and sell, and then you can print them out and put them in your journal or diary or whatever, your planner. Now I'm just trying to make sure things are drying. And I still have that upper left corner to take care of. Go ahead and put a little more medium up there and cover that up. And that's good. Pretty happy with that. Yes, you can still see a little bit of the purple and yellow and green background, but that's fine. Remember, junk journaling is not about perfection. We literally call it junk journaling. Not that our work is junk, but that we are upcycling. We are using stuff that would normally be used. And perfection is not my goal. My goal is to have fun. Here I'm taking apart the layers of a cocktail napkin, a fancy napkin, and I'm going to cut out these orchids because they're really pretty. They're a nice purple color, and I think that they kind of balance out this page. I've also got some more digital ephemera. This is a collection of stamps, and as you can see, they're much larger than the originals. And that one kind of has a bluey purple tint to it, and I figured that would be a nice addition as well. Okay, so before we glue anything else down, we're going to go in with some stencils. And this stencil is from the Crafter's Workshop. And here I'm trying to match some colors, making sure I'm on the right track. This is Chipped Sapphire. It's a Distress Oxide ink by Tim Holtz. And I'm just putting in color in the background, just kind of moving this color around. Also going to add another color in a little bit. But the Chipped Sapphire went really nicely with the orchid color. I've also pulled out Abandoned Coral, which You're like, Teresa, purple, blue, and orange? What? I don't know. It just worked. I thought about going for more of a pink kind of a jewel tone here, but I don't know. For some reason, the coral color called to me, and it turned out fine. It gave it a little bit of warmth, which I really liked. And now I'm going back with some more of the Sapphire to fill in some more spots. And I'm just randomly going around the edges of things that I glued down and just making some fields of color here and there. And as you can see, the corner of my page starts to curl. That is because I have added a lot of water to it. That particular piece of paper, I think, was some copy paper, which doesn't really like water. But that's okay. It works out in the end. Now I'm going in with the stencils, and I've chosen this stencil because it has what looks like some dandelion, just some very grungy kind of stained glass window, like a church window maybe. So it kind of had this nature and architectural kind of vibe to it. And I'm just adding these in where it looks good and feels good. And I'm going by my rule of 3 here. You know, you have something, you want to put it in 3 times. And as you can see, I've got 2 of the bigger circles and kind of a half at the bottom left there. It still counts as 3. And now I'm going in with another Crafter's Workshop stencil. I don't remember the name of this, but again, it's listed in the description below. These are a bunch of different stitches. Really cute stencil, and I'm just picking a few of them and going around the page to fill in these white spots with some stitches color. So now I'm putting my focal pieces back down to see if they still work. They do. I like where they go. So I'm going to put down this napkin, and you always want to use a gel medium with the napkin or a decoupage medium like Mod Podge. Just because the napkin is so delicate, I think trying to use a glue stick on a napkin would be almost impossible. If you manage to pull it off, let me know. I'd love to see it. So there's our orchid, and now I'm going to glue down the lady and her cat. Now for them, since they are on copy paper, I am putting the glue stick to good use here. Now, as you can see, I put down that piece of paper to glue, to apply the glue to the back of the girl, and then it stuck to the napkin and pulled up the napkin. Well, what happened is I had not pulled off both of the underlayers of the napkin. Apparently there were 3 layers. I only thought there was 2. Guess what? There was 3. So now you can see me. I go back to the napkin. I get another orchid, and I'm trying really hard to make extra sure that there are no other layers that I'm missing. And wow, I went at that a little obsessively. So I figure, okay, I think this is good. I even go so far as to put a little touch of water at the very top and rub it between my fingers, between the flower and the stem, just to make sure. And I finally decide, okay, I think this is good. So, take 2. We're going to go and put down a little more matte medium and apply our orchids. Whew. And then we're going to put, make sure all the edges are down, and we're going to put just a little bit of matte medium over the top to seal it. This way, the flowers should stay put. Give everything a nice blast with our heat gun to make sure everything is drying. And the last piece of our puzzle is this oversized stamp. Now I'm taking the Tim Holtz Distressor tool, and I'm just going around the edges to rough them up, just to give it some texture, to make it look less like I just cut it out of a sheet, and a little more, postage stampy. That's a thing, right? Yes. Okay. All right. Now everything's good in place. Yay. Wonderful. Now I'm going to, excuse me, now I'm going to add a little bit of gesso to my worktop, and I'm going to go in with a cosmetic sponge and just lightly dab around some of the hard edges in these images because I want to soften them and I want them to kind of blend into the back just a little more. I'm also going over some of the really black spots where I put some ink earlier with the stencil, again, to soften those and just kind of make this a cohesive piece instead of a patchwork. If you watch till the end, you'll see a close-up of the piece and you'll notice that, you know, there are a lot of little smudgy whites here and there, and it just kind of, like I said, softens everything, brings it together. So now I'm going to use a clip to keep that one corner down because it keeps curling up. We're going in with our Stabilo marks all in blue, and I picked blue instead of black because it's softer, it's a softer color, and we've got plenty of black in this piece already. I wanted the blue to kind of pick up the purple tones a little bit so that your cool colors would kind of shine through. Also, this gives definition to the girl. And then finally, I'm going in here with my Posca paint pen in black, and we're just doing a little mark making. I don't know, I love mark making, makes me feel good, so I do it a lot. I found a sentiment, it says live in the moment. I'm using a touch of gesso with my finger there to give a very white background for that sentiment to sit on. And I add a little extra glue and pop it right on top of her head. Adding a little more of the Stabilo in blue, and we're going to activate it with a touch of water just to give it a little bit of a smudgy look. And I'm going to go around the edges with some Archival ink. The black there, it's jet black. This is a permanent ink. And it just kind of gives that nice vintagey look to the paper. And then at the very last minute, I decide, you know what? I'm going to add a little bit of smudginess to the piece. Same thing I did earlier with the gesso, just to kind of just soften it a little. And we'll put the date and sign it, and we are done. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. I really
Perfect.